Hi everyone. In today's video, I'm going to talk on void agreements, void contracts, and illegal agreements. What is a void agreement? An agreement enforceable by law, all of you know, is a contract. And when it is not enforceable by law, it is said to be void. And it remains as an agreement only. It doesn't become contract. So it is a void agreement. Such agreements are void from the very beginning and they do not have any legal effect. That is, they are void ab initio. From the very beginning, they are void. Example, agreements with minors are void ab initio. Similarly, agreements with lunatics, persons of unsound mind, that is, those who do not have capacity to contract. Now, coming to void agreement versus void contract. So, void agreement, now you know that some agreements they do not mature into contract at all, and therefore they are void agreements. But there were some agreements which were valid contract when they were enforceable at the time of their formation. But later on, due to certain reasons, they become unenforceable. Such contracts are void contracts. A void agreement is simply unenforceable, but may not necessarily be forbidden by law. But an illegal agreement is forbidden by law, is in which consideration or object is also unlawful. So, illegal agreement is not only void and unenforceable, but also unlawful. And it makes all the agreements which are collateral to it also unenforceable. So, every illegal agreement is void, but every void agreement is not necessarily illegal. Now, yeah. Uh, Taking an example, okay, I have it in the coming slides about the wagering and illegal agreements. I will be continuing again. There are certain agreements which are expressly declared void, like agreements with persons incapable of contracting, like minors, persons of unsound mind, insolvents, they do not have capacity to contract, and therefore such agreements are expressly declared void. Agreements entered into under a mutual mistake of fact. I have covered this in my video on free consent. Agreements in which either consideration and object are unlawful, either in full or in part, then agreements without consideration. So one of the essential element of contract is not being satisfied. Agreement in restraint of marriage. Every individual of marriageable age has freedom, and if there are any agreements which restrain this, they are void agreements. Agreements in restraint of trade. Every individual has freedom to trade within the geographical boundaries of India. Of course, earlier Jammu and Kashmir was an exception, but now this is also removed. But there are certain exceptions to this, like when in the from the partnership agreement, the one of the partner leaves, taking his goodwill. Then, as per the agreement, certain number of years he cannot trade in certain place in the and he cannot trade in the same business. He can continue his trade in some other businesses. Similarly, some of the agreements for employees' contracts also, if employees know some of the business secrets, then such agreements restrain such employees that they cannot carry on the similar business in the same area for certain number of years. Agreements in restraint of legal proceedings. If there is any such agreement, that is void because every individual has freedom to sue in case there are any disputes to carry on with the legal proceedings. But of course, then somewhere the arbitration clause will be there in the contract, then they have to go for arbitration. Agreements, meaning of which is uncertain, agreements by way of wager, and agreements to do an impossible act. Like someone says that I'll bring life to the dead person if you pay me so much. That is an impossible act. Such agreements are void agreements. Now, coming to agreements by way of wager. Agreements by way of wager are those in which the outcome depends on chance. The outcome is uncertain. So, agreements by way of wager is a promise to give money or money's worth on determination of certain uncertain event. The examples of wagering agreement, lottery, gambling, competitions where prize money depends on chance. If in the competitions the prize money depends on your skills or your knowledge, they are not wagering agreements. But if it depends on chance, they are wagering agreements. Essential characteristics of wagering agreement: the event must be uncertain. There should be mutuality, that is, one person wins, other person loses. Both the persons cannot win or both the person cannot lose. If somebody wins, others will lose. Neither party can have any control over the event, that because it doesn't depend on your skills or your knowledge or anything, so you do not have any control over the event. It depends on chance, or you can say it depends on probability. And neither party doesn't have any proprietary interest in the event. Like, you have insurance contracts. In insurance contracts also, the performance by insurance company depends on chance. If by chance there is fire, if by chance the person is dead, or if by chance the person is hospitalized, insurance company needs to pay. Right, but in this thing, persons have interest in that event. Like if you take fire insurance of your business, you have interest in your business. Your life, or you can say your livelihood, depends on your business. And if by chance there is fire, the entire business gets destroyed and you will be losing everything. So you have interest in the event, and this is called interest in the property, and this is nothing but insurable interest. In wagering agreements, there is no insurable interest, or the parties do not have any interest in the subject matter. Like if the two persons are betting on which team will win the cricket match, they do not have any interest in either A or B. They are interested only in winning the bet. Now, in most of the India, wagering agreements are void, they are unenforceable. But in the states of Maharashtra and Gujarat, they are declared as illegal. Now, when anything is declared as illegal, its collateral contracts or collateral agreements, to use the right term, the collateral agreements are also void. Like either in Maharashtra or Gujarat, A borrows from B for gambling with C. Now, A loses the money and B cannot sue A for refund of the money if A doesn't repay, because it is illegal agreement. Gambling is illegal in Maharashtra and Gujarat, and therefore the collateral agreement, that is borrowing money from another person for gambling, is also void. It is not enforceable. So, when the agreement is illegal, the collateral agreements are also void. Thanks for watching the video, and please subscribe and like. And if you have any questions or any comments, you can mention in the comment section.